Hey, I'm Jason Creel and you're watching The Lawn Care Life. A couple of months ago, I did a video about a yard that had really thin Bermuda and tons of weeds. And I'm basically trying to track the progress of the yard throughout the year to let you see how a particular yard can recover in just 1 year without resodding, overseeding, or anything. Now this works best on a Bermuda lawn here in the South because Bermuda typically spreads very fast when fertilized and when you get the weeds out and that sort of thing. So if you got sunlight and rain and other variables. So I want to check on the progress of the lawn today and give you an update and talk to you about what I'm doing to help an ugly lawn become more beautiful. All right, so let's check out the lawn, see what kind of shape it is, and then we'll talk about what are the next steps for this particular lawn. Okay, so here's sort of an overview of the lawn. You can see this is being filmed in late April. So I started on this lawn a couple months ago, sprayed a pre-emergent, post-emergent to try to get rid of the majority of the weeds. And you can see a lot of these big brown spots is actually where a lot of the weeds, you know, basically died. And what I'm encouraged to see is even with the dead weeds here, you got little sprigs of Bermuda, and that's good. That's a really good sign because that Bermuda will spread very aggressively over the next few months. So being late April, next week our forecast is upper 70s. We got rain tomorrow, and we'll be up in the 80s soon in May, and then, you know, soon enough it'll be in the 90s and who knows, maybe 100 by the summer. So I'm not worried about this grass filling in. Now we do have a slight, you know, shade issue. So over here under the trees, I don't expect a lot to happen over there. You've got moss growing, and Bermuda just does not tolerate shade well at all. So, you know, there's gonna be a limit to how the Bermuda is gonna fill in over here where the moss is growing. It's too much shade. You might get some thin Bermuda to spread over here, but a good portion of the lawn gets plenty of sunshine. And I think, as you can see, even as I move over here, the Bermuda is starting to turn green with the warmer temperatures, and starting to see some of the warm season weeds that we're going to deal with. Let me show you. As I walk through the yard, let me get an up close picture here. But you know, most of the broadleaf weeds are basically gone, but you're starting to but what I'm seeing is a lot of nut sedge has popped up probably in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so, you know, nut sedge is one of those weeds that's hard to eliminate totally. I do have a new product I'm going to be trying on nut sedge this year that I'm excited about. But I'll spray the nut sedge today. It should turn yellow, go away for a while. I do expect it to come back. It's one of those weeds that you mostly have to manage. As far as else in the yard, as far as weeds go, I see a couple of others and I'm gonna work on. You got some Dallas grass that's starting to come out. I try to get the Dallas grass during the winter or early, you know, spring months if I can. Whether that be where the Bermuda's dormant, you know, you can spot treat it with glyphosate, or you can use Tribute Total on a Bermuda lawn to try to knock out the Dallas grass. And then there's one other weed that I primarily saw, and that is one I see a lot this time of year, and it's a little bit tougher. Sometimes the 3-way products that we spray on lawns to, you know, kill most of the broadleaves does not seem to have much effect on this weed, which is called field matter. You see the little purple flowers, but I'll be spraying the field matter today, probably with blindside. Change up works really well on it as well, and you can see I have stirred up an ant bed. Maybe we can sign them up for some fire ant control later. So I'm going to fertilize the yard today. This is going to be one of 2 fertilizer applications that I'm probably going to do this year, possibly 3 depending on, you know, how things go. Good thing about the Bermuda, like I said, with plenty of sun, with fertilizer, with rain, you can see a lot of progress on a yard. So I'm going to spot treat these weeds, fertilize the lawn, and then we'll check back in a couple of months, probably actually about 6 weeks, and put out more fertilizer and see the progress. And I would expect to see some significant improvement by the next time we come back to look at this lawn. Let me show you the fertilizer I'm using today. So if you watch my videos, I buy my fertilizer and most of my weed control products from Harold's. Today I'm going to be putting out a 23-5 blend, so 20% nitrogen. The fertilizer I'll put out next time will have a higher nitrogen content, be more slow release. This fertilizer, I'm trying to get the grass growing. This is what I would use just on Bermuda lawns this time of year, and then come back later with a slow release fertilizer with a higher nitrogen content. So I've got my Ground Logic ride-on spreader sprayer that I'm going to be using to put the fertilizer out today. Then I'll spot treat the weeds, and then we'll move on and get going to the next yard. Okay, I'm gonna mostly spot treat the weeds there with Blindside. As I said, it works pretty well on field matter, and we'll also do a number on that yellow nut sedge. Purple nut sedge, not so much, but that looked like yellow nut sedge to me. So, hope this video is helpful. We'll check back on this lawn later and give you an update. Like I said, in 6 weeks, I'm expecting to see a significant improvement, and in a few months, I'm expecting this to look like actually a decent lawn. So, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to provide more content for you, and you can check out these suggested videos. Thanks a lot.